Hello there on this rainy Wednesday afternoon.
It is raining.
Shante, good
I'm
to
laughing
see.
at us trying to pause our faces long enough so we don't blink when it's, I guess it's taking our picture
It's taking a
for
picture
the
all the
cover
time.
of this thing.
They're always listening. Mark Zuckerberg. I know he's intrigued by our life. Him and his
Yeah,
wife in
I'm
their
sure they are.
California condo or whatever are
Like, what
probably
about
just
people in
going,
Buckhead, Georgia are doing
I
on
bet
their
that's
porches?
exciting. Let's listen in. You know what they're going to hear if they listen in?
Rain,
Children arguing,
children, a dog.
a dog that wants to go out in the rain, and rain. Lots.
Super exciting stuff going on.
It's a crazy,
Super exciting.
crazy evening in the Harrell house. Something about Wednesday.
Spaghetti night.
It was
Around
great. Those
here?
noodles were awesome.
We had noodles that were shaped like tiny wheels,
It's
so
true.
the kids would eat them.
I ate them. Caroline had seconds.
She did.
It was awesome. It was a good time. Good
Our
time.
kids, I don't know why I buy noodles. Like, they eat all the spaghetti that we make. The
They do.
noodle shape has never been
It
a
doesn't matter.
discouraging part.
They'll
but
just, yeah,
when I buy them, I think, oh, the kids will eat those. But they'll eat those anyway.
they'll eat whatever's there.
They'll eat all the different kinds.
It's true.
But the wheels were a hit. With Nathaniel, he was driving them
The
across.
wheels were a hit.
driving
did it
them
there.
across. I don't know how much spaghetti sauce
Kev?
he ate.
We're not dressed up. This is
Oh,
our
we're not.
normal Wednesday attire. Or are you talking to me or Shante?
I'm just
I had
wearing
an
a pink
undershirt
shirt.
on and everything earlier. I've actually de-dressed.
Oh,
Well, I'm just
That
being
seems
honest. I
weird.
mean, sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
I'm just
I guess.
wearing pink shirt and pink earrings at the same time. Which probably seems dressed up based on what I've been wearing.
You showered today, didn't you?
I did.
Ha! It's a good day right
Also,
there.
Kevin is our neighbor and has
That's
seen
true.
us doing a lot of yard work
That's
mostly.
true,
So
Kev.
I probably am dressed up compared to that.
That's very true.
I'm definitely dressed up compared to that.
Compared to
All the other times.
every other time, something fancy on this back porch. We're nothing but fancy.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
I wish everybody could see. Actually, I don't wish you could see the whole thing, but there's just toys strewn and it's sort of a mess back here. The bird laid eggs in our
It
nest.
did on our back porch
Right,
in our
right here.
right behind our Dunder Mifflin
Right,
pillow.
as close as Danny is to me, there's a bird
There's a
nest
bird.
with 3
If
eggs.
it's a mockingbird, she's gonna show up in a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's on the top of the couch, not underneath. It's just
No.
right on the top.
It's crazy. They're serious.
Welcome, bird, to our
Welcome,
life.
bird.
This
Welcome.
seems like the least peaceful area for a bird to lay eggs.
It's kind of chaotic. There's
The
like
kids have already
moon sand,
moved the throw pillar
some
into
old
next
shells,
to the
some
nest.
cashews or
No, those are pistachios.
pistachios. Those were so good.
Remember how many days ago they had
good.
pistachios out here? There's some shells still.
It's true. It's true. Spence Kelly's on here. We look forward to this every day too, Spencer. For real. I'm glad we get to hang out
We really do.
and have a little chit chat every evening on the back porch. Hey, for real.
We were
don't
actually
have-
just saying how nice it is that we would pretend to do this and tell our kids that we have a
We
video
honestly,
to make.
I
They
didn't
leave us
really
alone.
think about
He
doing
said
it, but
we
I
could
did.
Just sit here and pretend to
Just
make a
push
video.
record and then talk this direction so that our kids,
So on
because as soon as we
Saturday,
push
we
finish and
might-
end, those
They're out here.
jokers show up.
They know it's over. They're like, hey, are you done? Did you finish your video?
Oh, wow.
They're respectful for the half hour. Or
They
whatever.
are the only hour of our lives.
So we might start doing it 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday we'll just be out
Yeah,
here.
that's right. Where's
Just
mom and dad doing a
sitting at the
video?
corner.
The weekends, though, we do a 3-hour video. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Why are mom and dad eating dinner on the back
Wow,
porch?
they need snacks in the video?
They got
Yeah.
Ricardo's to go.
We have to eat cheesecake. And
Got to do your thing. Got to minister to the people. So
you do what you got to do.
you do what you got to do. Thanks everybody for joining on. Hope everybody's staying dry this evening. Had a little bit of rain. Had a little grass seed out. Kind of excited. That grass seed's going to start getting watered
Thanks,
coming
Kevin.
up. Thanks. That's
Thanks
going to be
to
so
Kevin.
good. Looking forward to that stuff. See what happens there, and we're going to see what goes around.
Hey, Natalie, 50% nurse.
Natalie.
It's official.
Black Rock.
Not just today, but I don't think I saw you yesterday say it. She's
I
a
didn't see you.
50% nurse.
That's awesome. So
She's
can you take
halfway
like half of my blood pressure,
Maybe.
half of my heart
She can
rate?
take your whole blood pressure, I think.
Hey, Miss Jean, glad y'all here
She
with us
knows
this
blood
evening.
pressure now. Or
Miss
has
Debbie,
been.
as people keep jumping on, like we always say, if you have any comments or need us for anything, make a comment below. Frank, Shirley, glad y'all are here. Keep checking in with everybody. A lot of emojis.
There's Natalie's full emotions about being a 50% nurse.
Full emotions and emojis. I'm trying
Those
not to
look
squint at the
very
screen.
similar to the same emotions I have about my score, except the heart one. I don't have that.
Hello, Miss
emotion.
Debbie McIntosh. Watch this. I'm reading those without squinting. Look, no squint.
I'll have that emotion.
I think it's
when I'm
almost like,
done.
there's no need to do that. It makes no difference.
Really?
When I'm reading them now. I wonder why I do that. It's
What do you mean?
habitual.
So you can read it right now?
Clear as day.
You squint a lot, like
I know.
very dramatically. Just saying. It's not a
Are
critique.
you calling me dramatic?
Yes.
Lobby. Lobby.
I knew you were going to do that.
Selena, Arlissa, Sandra, Hannah.
I feel like
At
I
least
live
for
in
re-
a Broadway musical, but not one that anyone would watch. There's just a lot of random music
Well, that's
and
depressing, too.
voices.
You're just kicking
No,
me
in a
on down.
good. No, I'm not kicking you
I feel
down.
like I live in a Broadway musical with you. No one would want to watch it.
Who would want to watch a Broadway musical about homeschooling during a
Love.
quarantine?
Love, love.
Yeah,
I'm silent. Silencio. Hey, Arlissa.
don't make a lot of Broadway musicals about a couple that's been married 13 years, just day-to-day life.
There
I
was
hate
this
to tell
guy.
you, that's not the stage of life they make musicals about.
It's not. This is like the aftershock.
We're not
This
in-
is the results.
We're not in that. We're not,
These are
this is like the recap, where are they now version.
what happened. Well, Danny gained about 20 pounds and had a few kids, and he's doing Facebook Live videos on his back porch. It's cool.
You can distinguish the days between church days, or if it's like, is it bath night, or do I have to wash
It's
my hair?
fine.
It's just
That's
regular
right.
bath night. Super exciting musical quality stuff.
We're exhilarating. So I know all of you are enjoying this. Like,
Yeah,
why-
we're mystified that we even have
no
29
offense.
people live.
2031 is busting now. People that are watching, this is the first time we've actually talked to each other all day, really.
It kind of is.
Without other
We've
people.
been in the room a lot.
We've been,
Together.
in the room,
We just don't have a lot
some.
of conversations together
wow.
until right now.
It's okay, though.
It's
I mean,
been
we're
a
good.
very
We're good.
Wednesday day. Does that make sense? Like, Mondays are always Monday. Today has been Wednesday. For sure. I don't really know how to explain it.
I would sing a song, but Broadway's
Broadway.
shut down and all. That's good stuff. Hey,
I'm
we did.
saying,
What's
it
that video we started watching last night? The last few nights, the Christian radio station.
Oh, it's called Way Nation.
Way
It
Nation.
must be a radio station.
If you look it up on, I think YouTube, it's on YouTube.
This is
Y'all,
the most Christian
if you were
thing you're gonna
raised
do.
in like traditional
Yeah.
Christian home, they do all kinds. This is gonna sound cheesy, and some of you are gonna go,
It's
"That's
ve-
why
it
we're not
is-
Christian."
It
I get
is
it.
cheesy, really.
But like last night, we watched one a couple nights ago about they were doing VeggieTales songs.
so they race, and there's a buzzer, and the person has to name. We started off watching 90s youth
90s
worship.
youth worship songs. So if you were in the 90s youth group, and it folds into the
If
2000s, so y'all would get this stuff.
If you were in youth group
But
at all, really.
They have like a couple
It covers
people
it.
playing from the radio station, and then they have like famous Christian
But
singers.
then, like, DC
so
Talker, Toby Mac has to play.
they were there last night. Switchfoot. I didn't know their
Switchfoot
brothers were on
competed.
there. Chris Tomlin. It's been pretty fun. Look it up. I think you might enjoy it.
We can.
I have enjoyed it,
We can
needless to
send you
say.
to it if you're dying to see it. I'm sure we can help you find your way.
I know some of y'all are just struggling. I get it. Man, my Bible's falling over.
No, I'm just
We're in
saying
the-
today was a full. Like, we went to for day 2 in a row. The happiest and saddest thing we've done a long time is to go and see Caroline's teachers today, both of them,
Yeah.
and pick up her little bag of
How was that?
schoolwork. So sad and so sweet, but I'm glad they're doing
I'm
it.
glad they're doing it. Thanks.
Just
Morgan County
lots
Primary
of
School.
emotion in our house the last 2 days. I am glad that we don't have a third day in a row of that. It's just a lot of emotion, mostly sadness.
Sadness.
There's like artwork that they didn't finish, stuff like that.
Yeah, their name off their desk.
The name of
That's
their
legitimate.
desk. Caroline
They're like,
brought
"This
the
year
popsicle
is
stick with her
over."
505 number on it, and she said it's her spacer.
We're
when
learning.
she writes, she's like, "No, I can space my sentences." I was like, "Oh goodness."
Things are looking up.
We
for
are
the
not
little
school,
kids.
baby. I'm very sorry.
We're not.
This is just our dining room table. We're doing what we can.
That's right.
But
Philip,
it was great to see the teachers, all
it
the
was,
teachers.
I've heard about it, and I got to review the artwork and stuff. Our kids can draw.
We reviewed every article that came home with Daddy as soon as it came on both days.
2 days in a row.
And this is my Washington Monument. And
Wow.
this is the Statue of Liberty.
Wow, that's
These
so
are
good.
sentences about a turkey.
Oh, wow. That's my response. I could be doing it right now.
Year of work.
Oh, you're worth the work.
It was
It's
sweet
okay.
though. It was good.
It was sweet. Phil, I'll get you the deets on that. All right.
What are the
The
what?
details on the Way
Oh,
Nation.
the YouTube Way Nation.
Me
It's
and
called
Philip are on the same
Way
wavelength.
Nation.
I get you.
I think it. Is there?
Just
do you
look up
think
Way
there's-
Nation channel on YouTube. I'll text it to you later. If
There's a lot of them.
about an hour from now, when you realize you haven't gotten a text from me, shoot me a
Yeah,
text
he's not-
asking me to text it to
he's not
you,
gonna text
and I'll
you.
text it to you.
He's like, I'll send that right
I'll
now.
send that to you. We'll get on that. I'll get my people on it. We're the people.
I'm the people.
We the people. All right, we're going to be in First
think
John
we're
tonight,
good.
chapter
Yeah.
3. There's a lot of information here, so I'm going to kind of jump into it. So, First John chapter 3. If you have a Bible, grab it. If you don't,
We don't
just
wanna be
listen along. I
long-winded
don't want to be
again.
long-winded. Man, last night you just talked and talked and talked.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's all. So I'm gonna stop using it.
You're sitting on one of them. There's
Just
already
leave
one
it.
out here.
Just leave it. Leave it down there. I don't need it. It's
You
already
pencil
there.
dropper. You pencil dropper. All right, we're in the book of 1 John, chapter 3. Grab a Bible if you got it, and we will be breaking this thing down. If you have any prayer requests, write them below. I'm trying to think if anybody has. You have any prayer requests?
No prayer requests, but an update. We will get specifics on the families that were helping at the primary school tomorrow from the counselors. They're going to be at work in building tomorrow and have access to some of those records. And we had a great response to that. So
That's
just
been really
thank
good.
you to all the people who are helping us help those sweet families. So
absolutely
we're
it.
excited about that. If you want to be involved, just reach out to us today
Reach out
or
to us,
tomorrow.
and we'll
There's
get you involved
time.
in that one.
We'll get it to them probably early next week or late
That's right.
this week.
This Sunday, we're going to have a service online again. You're welcome to. That's going to be at 10 o'clock. It's going to be on all the streaming stuff. If you want to go for a little drive at Harmony Campus, we're having a drive-in service at 11. Next Sunday, May the 10th, is Mother's Day. Some exciting stuff. We're going to have a drive-in service at the Morgan County High School parking lot.
Yay!
So tell all your friends. Let's pack that thing out. Like, we're going to pack out the parking lot. I'm talking with Matt and Justin. Everybody, like, I want to do full
Happy
praise
Mother's
team.
Day.
Get all our feet people back.
You don't
blast
have to watch
some
the
music.
same
We'll
three
be-
or four of us.
We don't have to watch the same, like Danny. I'll get somebody else to speak and everything, because we're going to have, you can either roll your windows down, we'll have some speakers, like some pretty, hopefully kind of loud.
Like
But we'll
live
also
music.
have the FM transmitter. So for anybody that wants to come for real, for
Keep your
most of
windows
us,
up.
you can keep your windows up. I mean, absolutely there.
You just tune to the station. And
Just
it'll
tune
be
to the
on your car
station.
radio.
We'll have our parking lot guys. I'll be calling you tomorrow. Philip, when I text you the deets on that, I'll be talking to you. We're going to need quite a few volunteers, just as far as like parking lot kind of signage. We'll give all those instructions out. That's not this coming Sunday.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
May
So
10th.
Sunday, May the 10th. Let people know. We'll be having an absolute
I'm
blast
so
in the high
excited.
school parking lot, and then we'll just keep giving out details. We've got another place we're looking at having a couple more drive-in services. Right now, the details I have are it's Peggy's barn. Okay, so I don't have a lot of other
Peggy's
details.
barn.
If Peggy's
Just come to
watching,
Peggy's barn.
Peggy, we're about to crash your house in a couple weeks. But
Does Peggy
we
know?
will be. Peggy knows. Her and Rob have been talking, but I want to make sure I have like the right
Thanks,
address
Peggy.
and everything. Peggy seems like a lovely lady.
Is this
That's
the
gonna be
barn
some
that's like
cool
an
stuff.
acre of?
It's an acre of
Covered.
covered space. And what we're looking at doing is having one ginormous, well, depending on who wants to come. A lot of people want to stay at home. I totally get that. We definitely respect that. For those that want to come out, people can come, and
We will still have live or some
it
version.
will be online. All of these will be
All of those
online
will
as
be
well.
live streamed.
So if you would rather stay at home, you can continue watching those from home. We're just giving some options. These will be emailed out. We're doing an actual, I think, a letter, a mail-out letter from the church in the coming days. So if you have not received an email from the church before, write your email address below or private message it to me or Shante, and we will make sure we get all those details to you. Again, one more time, this Sunday, watch us online at 10 o'clock, May the 3rd, 10 o'clock, or a drive-in service at the lake at 11. And then the next Sunday, Mother's Day, May 10th, high school, Morgan County High School parking
Morgan
lot.
County High School.
We're going to knock it out, y'all.
So
I'm
exciting.
excited to see people, even if it's from your cars. We can do like a honk, amen. Like if you get excited, you honk the horn. You make it happen.
That sounds cool.
You're a dork.
If you don't trust us to pass your email address on, you can also just email directly to
That's
admin
actually better.
at lakepoint.cc.
Admin at
Foolproof.
lakepoint.cc.
Miss
Do
Paige
that.
will get that email and she will hook you right up. It's
That's the better.
admin
ADMIN.
at lakepoint.cc.
Just .cc.
Lakepoint does not have an E.
No E at the end.
Lakepoint.
Just like the church, and .cc. So email her.
Do that.
That's a foolproof way of making sure you get
Because
the
we
information.
will try to remember to do it. But like we said, it's literally as soon as we push finish on this video,
Boom.
a child will come out that door.
There are people watching
3
us.
children most likely, and it will be
Intimidated.
not on the front of our
We'll
mind.
do, one day we'll do a trial run while push finish and fake
Watch
it.
them come out.
And you can
watch them maybe tonight. They're watching us through this window. You can't
All the
see
time.
this tonight. They
All the
can
time.
see us.
If
so-
you ever wonder, let's get personal for a second. You ever wonder where your kids are? Like you lost one of them? I'm sorry to share this on the
don't-
World Wide Web. Just
we
go to
don't
the
lose
bathroom
our-
and close the door. Go to the bathroom, close the door. That joker will show up and
I
knock on that
have
door.
well, I have not been uninterrupted in the restroom consecutively for 5 weeks. I've been counting, and for 5 weeks consecutively, I have not been uninterrupted.
How many of those times did I interrupt knock on the door?
Some of them were you. Like I thought, I wonder how many days it would take me to go before anybody didn't interrupt me. So far, we're 5 weeks in, and it has not happened, not even one time.
Man, those church bathrooms are calling her name.
That's not a bad idea. I told Danny I'm just going to go for a drive soon, and I don't really even know where I'm going.
Isn't it good?
I'm going by myself, and I love the primary school, but I'm not going to cry about teachers because that's the sweetest and saddest thing. I'm just going to drive and look at happy things.
Think happy
I don't
thoughts.
even know. Okay, we got to
All
do this. This
First
is a
John, we're
big
going to be here for an hour and a half. Okay, First John chapter 3.
You can leave.
Here we go. We're going to
Just
cruise
leave
through.
us.
Ready, set, go.
Don't talk fast.
The first thing I underlined was 3 verse 1, and I'm just going to read it.
It's a solid verse.
For he calls us his children, and that is what we are. The Father loves us, so he calls us his children. We are children of God. John keeps going back to this over and over and over again. Again, in this chapter, it's all about having an intimacy with God, having a deep relationship with the Father. And I think, y'all, I'm just being honest, when I camp out there in my thinking, in my doing, in my saying, my life is better, and the lives of people around me are better. It says right underneath that, we are children of God. And then in verse 2, at the end of it, I underline, one day when Christ appears again, we will see him as he really is. I like that, knowing that one day we will be made perfect with Jesus. We're trying to be perfect now. We're striving to be like him every day. But one day when Jesus comes back and we do away with the flesh and all those things, like he says, no, we're going to be just like him, and we're going to see him as he truly is. That's going to be a good day. We don't have that day picked out yet, but I believe it's going to be a really good day.
It will. And even the like big time characters in the Old Testament couldn't look physically upon God. Even Moses went up on the mountain, and I think didn't he have to turn backwards?
Yeah.
And he couldn't look directly.
It's crazy stuff.
So I feel like it's not just us. Like all the people that we read about in the Bible will also be waiting for that day. So we're in good company.
It's going to be really good.
And then he goes to verse 6 and 7. He starts talking about abide. So this chapter is very filled with the word abide and righteousness. So he kind of reiterates this throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But whoever abides in him does not sin. Whoever sins has neither seen him nor known him.
Bam.
Which is very black and white.
Very black and white. Now here, if you got some
Go ahead. No.
Here, I wanted to point out another good passage to read if you're reading this and you're like, well, I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? Is Romans chapter 7, verses 13 to 25. Paul breaks this down a little bit more in Romans chapter 7, verses 13 to 25, when he's talking about this ongoing struggle with the flesh, you know? Now, this is just me and what I've read and what I personally believe here. These verses have actually hung up a few folks. Like a few folks get stuck here. We've had some interesting things come out of these verses. What I believe these verses are saying, or not saying, is that once you become a Christian, you never sin again. That's not what these verses are saying. These verses, like Shonda was just saying, are all about abiding in God's presence, having an intimate relationship with the Father. So again, John is writing to a group of Christians. They're already saved. They've already confessed and believed. And he's trying to get them to a place where they're living in righteousness, like living even closer with the Lord. So he's saying, you want to take a few steps back, get the sin going in your life again, and you're going to remove from it. Naturally, like he just said before, one day when we are in heaven and we do away with everything that is fleshly and everything that is worldly, we will be perfect and we will never experience sin again.
Right.
But even if you make it a week or a year or 10 years without any sin in your life, according to everybody I've ever met, we have to be on guard for sin to return. Not because hopefully we're not out like looking for it, but knowing that even Christians, even Christians fall down. But I heard a great analogy by some TV preacher, I forget who it was, but he was talking about.
He watches a lot of TV preachers.
I do. I love him. But he was talking about how one day he was throwing rocks in his pond with his kid, and he slipped and actually fell in, and he got wet. And his kid laughed at him. He said, "Wow." Now he said, "Daddy, you're all wet. You were dry, now you're wet." I don't remember the rest of the story, but his basic analogy was he was the same person. He was just a wet person, after he fell in the pond. I know that's simple and kind of weird out of context. But to me, I think like when we become a Christian, we're always a Christian. There are times where we will fall into or get back into, hopefully not, but fall back into sin or things that separate us from God. And those things will be honest. But it's kind of like if you fall into a body of water, you're still a person. You're just a wet person, In that situation, that's a better way to say it. Like you're still a Christian. You're just a Christian that has some sin back in it. You've got to address those things.
My study notes at the bottom of my page say that, remember, some false teachers believed that knowledge had made them perfect and sinless. So he's addressing
A specific group of folks here.
Specific people who have come into the church, taught the wrong thing, and left. These are the antichrists we talked about last night.
Yeah.
And now he's refuting what some of their teachings were, that they had been perfect. They clearly weren't perfect, and so he's maintaining that sin... The other people had said that sin doesn't matter because it doesn't affect your spiritual soul. And so John is refuting what they had said.
Yeah.
It also goes on to say that both of John's statements in this section indicate a settled character, habitual practice, an ingrained propensity towards sin. So we're human. We have that propensity. We can sin. So he's not denying the possibility of sin in the Christian. He's merely arguing that habitual sinning is incompatible with Christian life.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really good way of saying it. If you're returning to the same sin as a habit,
over and over,
that's a little bit of a different character issue than just, being off your guard and having, not that a little sin or that any sin is little, but having this one-time thing where you fall into sin is almost human, and you can get right back out of it and go right back to the way you were.
Yeah. But
when you return to this pattern of sinfulness, then you obviously aren't abiding. And that's I think that's why he uses the word abide.
Yeah.
He's just saying this
Just
is like
keeps
a
coming back to that.
lifestyle.
Because he says God will destroy the works of the devil. That's going to be heaven. One day we'll all be in heaven together. In verse 9, like you just said, don't make a practice of sinning. He says don't make a practice of it. So I think for some, and I've met with some Christians, we've been with counsel with and minister to and hang out with some Christians, that they get into these times of life where they just feel like they're absolutely miserable and they're struggling, and sometimes their prayers aren't being answered and all kinds of stuff. Sometimes that's because it's just not the Lord's time. Y'all, if we're honest, sometimes it's because some of us have gotten back into a habit of a sin that the Lord has clearly said we should not be doing. We've got to address that as a Christian and get it under control. He says right there in verse 10 at the end of it, anyone who does not live righteously and does not love other believers does not belong to God. So again, it's about that living in righteousness, that trying to live like Jesus and love other people. I wrote underneath it, it's all about loving God and loving others. It's the cross, you got the vertical and you got the horizontal. He says when we're doing that, we're going to do things well. But we got to be aware of those things. You've got to be aware of those things. Again, and these are the same things we've said since we've been at Lake Point. We'll probably always say them. This is the areas of life where I encourage people to be in small groups and in life groups and in Bible studies, to have like close friends within the church that are not just watching your back. Like Christians, our whole job isn't to be like, oh, I saw you doing such and such. I saw you in the wherever store, you know what I'm talking about? Old Baptist joke, we said the liquor store. But whatever it is, like I saw you in wherever it's going on. Like, now don't get me wrong, like we got to hold each other accountable. That's not what it's all about. It's all about that fellowship and this idea of being a part of a family.
Just being generally encouraged.
Generally
by each other's
encouraged.
Presence.
And knowing that sometimes we're going to mess up. And that's what a Christian family can do, is we can rally around people when they do mess up and fall. But we can also kind of hold each other up and say, hey, let's put up these guards in our lives to try to avoid some of those things.
Well, and if you have found yourself in a place where you aren't happy with where you are, if you've slipped or you've had a situation in your life where someone else's sin has caused pain for you, the church is supposed to rally around you. So if you are saying to us, I need help, I'm not happy, my family's falling apart, all these things, people sometimes come to us and say, our marriage is falling apart, but we want to fight and do the right thing.
Yeah.
That immediately puts us into go mode, and we link arms with you, sometimes literally, and just walk with you. And that's what we are supposed to all do.
That's what the church
does. As soon
does.
as the person says, man, I messed up and I really want to fix it, boom, that's what our job is. And I've never taken fellowship for granted, but wow, now I really appreciate it.
And you see, y'all, John is an exceptional writer. I mean, the flow, maybe we should chart that out sometime. Like the flow of this is so good because he goes right into the next thing is love one another. He goes immediately into that's what it's all about. It's all about loving one another. He says, like Cain and Abel got into a mess. They were the very first family on the planet, and they really messed things up. So if your family's a mess, God gets it. They've been a mess for a long time. But he says in verse 13, so don't be surprised, dear brothers and sisters, if the world hates you. He says, don't be surprised if the world hates you. And then in verse 14.
You shouldn't be surprised if you have people in your life who are not walking this same path. And they're going to be frustrated with you if you suddenly change paths and decide, you know what, this is for me. I'm going to be a Christian. I'm going to take some things out of my life that are unhealthy. And you know what? Sin is unhealthy, and you will feel better if you remove those sinful things from your life. But that doesn't mean that your friends will feel better about it.
They're going to understand it or accept it or celebrate it.
They might take some time, and some people may never come around to understand. Yeah. If you've made a big change, that's going to be an adjustment for your friends. And
There's
you may
other
just have to be upfront and say, well, this is who I am.
Right.
And,
that talk about, man, if somebody does hate you for what you believe or hate you for your faith in Christ or the way that you're living, it says that we are in very good company, for they hated the apostles as well. They hated Jesus as well. So that's the idea.
It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong.
It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And I think John's contrasting here. He's saying, but the best way to navigate through that is to be in an intimate, abiding relationship with the Father. Because if you're in an intimate, like me and Shanta, we always use the marriage example. Like me and Shanta, when we're on a solid page, husband, wife, team duo, anything the world throws at us, throw away. I mean, and trust me, I'm not challenging, I'm not inviting that in. But like sometimes things come, when we're on the same page, when we're abiding and in deep relationship, it's amazing, right? How you can be like, all right, well, that was a crazy day, but we're still here. It's the same when it comes to our Christian faith. The Lord says, no, when you're abiding in Him and in an intimate relationship with Him, when somebody in the world or somebody that doesn't agree,
we are.
What if we? I always like to freeze.
You freeze every time.
No, I'm beating a dead horse. But a person who has no love is still dead. Take that in verse 14. And then he says in verse 16 and 17, if someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person? Love is what he's talking about here.
How does the love of God abide in him?
How does love of God abide in him?
He's really beating this word abide, but I think it's on purpose.
He's driving it home.
It's not a lifestyle for that person.
Yeah. He's saying that when you love the Lord,
all that you need and you see someone in need and you're not moved by that, then God's not influencing.
He said because God is moved by that. And y'all, and I want to preach to myself for a second. So if you think I'm talking to you, just ignore it because I'm talking to myself. One of the temptations I've had throughout my life is to see someone who is in need and try to rationalize that need away at different times. There have been times where I've seen some people in need and said, well, if they would just, I'm just being confessional here, well, if they would have just saved more, or if they would have worked harder, or if they would have done this. Sometimes those things are true. There are sometimes people get in a need because they didn't do things they were supposed to and they get in a need. Other times, people have absolutely no control over the needs that come along. Here, and I'm pointing this out to myself, John says, like to me, he's not saying which one you show compassion to. He's saying if you see people in need, show compassion to them. Regardless of how they got to that place of need, regardless of whatever circumstances led to it, he says, if you see them and see that they have a need. Now, what does that mean? I think there's a wide range of needs. Like what's the old phraseology or whatever? Like if you teach what is it? If you give a man a fish to eat, he'll have supper for the night. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll have supper forever, something like that.
Feed him for a day.
Feed him for a day. Feed him for a lifetime. If you teach him how to fish. So I think and that's one of the things the church is called to do is holistic ministry. So absolutely. And like we did last night, y'all, we gave the church, those that go to Lake Point Church, a good donation to the Caring Place Food Pantry because we're trying to say, hey, we have people in our community that have a genuine need, physically, food. But we also offer all types of ministries and resources for folks to try to go through things. There's something specific in there that they want to work on.
Definitely. I just want to say, hey, Miss Jean, it's not over.
It's not over, Miss Jean. I'm sorry. It froze up for a second.
Freeze. And Cousin Sue is here, and she started calling herself Cousin Sue, which I love.
Thanks, Cousin Sue.
I think we're the only people who call you Cousin Sue, because I maybe not.
That should be enough to give yourself that title.
But we have always called you Cousin Sue here.
Yes, we have.
So, welcome.
Cousin Sue, Mississippi.
No, I think that, and we've said this before, but if something breaks the heart of God, it should also break your heart.
Yeah,
people really get in the way of that. Mm-hmm. We get ourselves in the way of that when we start to think, well, they really shouldn't be in that situation, or they really shouldn't. And there's a million examples of that, big and small. Yeah. But if, God created those people, and if they are struggling, I think it breaks his heart. One
thing, and this has helped me, again, this is like a passage that Danny is preaching to Danny. One of the things that has helped me in my life in the last 10 years, it started about 10 years ago, I'd say, when I started really working on this, is when I got into a situation and I started to be tempted to explain away how someone got into a situation or a circumstance or whatever was going on in front of me, and I started to be tempted to not show compassion. This is true. I started to pray. It used to be out loud. Now I just pray to myself. Lord, thank you for all the things you have given me. Mm-hmm. Thank you by allowing me to have experienced enough grace to end up where I am. That phrase, it's by the grace of God. It's just by the grace of God. It kind of puts it in perspective for me. It's really helped in that, saying, Lord, man, thank you for taking care of me, helping to take care of others. And then in verse 20, did you got anything between there and 20?
The end of that, it sort of is broken up like a different paragraph in mine, but 18 says, my little children, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. So he's saying, just put your money where your mouth is. Yeah. Don't say you love someone, or don't say about all the things you've done. Actually do it and just take action on those things.
Take action.
So when you see someone in need, it's one thing to say, hey guys, we should help these people out. It's another thing to actually be the one to go and help them out.
To go and help them.
And just in deed and in truth do it.
Because like the greatest commandment, love your neighbors, love God and love people, love your neighbors yourself. Jesus told the Good Samaritan story. Those who have been in church for a while, we've heard it so many times. You're like, yeah, I get it. Jesus lays that out, and he says, who was the neighbor? The one that cared and the one that showed compassion, that choose to the Lord. Verse 20, even if we feel guilty, this translation says, even if we feel guilty, God is greater than our feelings. I like that phrase.
That's good.
God is greater than our feelings, and he knows everything. He knows all things. I absolutely love it. There.
Yeah, Jess made a good point. Or say, I'm praying for you, and never actually pray
right.
for them. That's a big Facebook.
That'll do it right there.
That's easy to do on social media.
Yeah.
You see a prayer request, and you immediately type, I'm going to pray about that.
I'm going to pray about that.
You know, about probably a couple years ago, maybe longer.
I started doing that same.
I will type it and then put my phone down and actually at that moment say, I'm going to pray for this person right now. And sometimes I will even type, I'm praying for you now.
We're praying for you
and
now.
And then it's true.
And you're doing
and
that.
it's not something I have to remember to do later. It just helps me to be more thorough with that.
And for those that are really, really extroverted and kind of like me, kind of weird and bold there, especially when someone asks you. And now, it's a whole different realm if you start getting to, and it's beautiful, a lot of cool things happen, when you start getting to ask people to pray for them, like, you start that conversation. But when someone comes up to you, and occasionally it'll happen at church, especially in Christian circles, if you're living your life, and people know and understand that you talk to God, like, imagine if you've never talked to God before, and you find out that your neighbors, like, talk to him every day. If I started wondering about God, I would ask my neighbor, hey, you know him, could you talk to him for me? Y'all, one of the things I encourage all of us to do, and it's so awkward sometimes, but in those moments even say, would it be okay if I pray with you right now? When they ask. This
is something Danny has done a lot more in the last year or so.
It has changed things for me. Because, one, you'll see the surprise, honestly.
Usually on my face.
Yeah, she's always
if we're in public and he's like, can I pray with you? I'm thinking, that was not what I saw. Sometimes I don't see it coming.
But I think one of the reasons is for real.
It's always cool, though.
Because culturally, we've gotten so accustomed to saying things like, oh, I'm going to pray for you, baby. And we never actually do. Or we don't do it on the spot, that when we put our money where our mouth is. John just said that. When we do that, it makes people go, oh, you're serious.
What? Yeah.
And again, they can't complain if they're asking for it. You're like, yeah, I'll pray for you right now.
I have seen more people, though, break down.
It's been crazy, y'all.
And tell us way more than we
Way
expected.
more. And cry sometimes. And just, it's
amazing.
Really
a sweet
Absolutely
thing.
Amazing. Because it's intimate.
Always
you're
a little
allowing
awkward.
someone.
Don't be mistaken. It's usually very awkward. But then we get through that, and it gets.
We push through that stuff.
Sometimes, that couple you prayed for in that, was it Subway? On the way home from vacation that time? And you just walked over.
I just felt like I needed to.
Prayed for him, and they were just like.
They're like, who is this guy?
Okay, weirdo.
I was like, first off, this is the grossest Subway I've ever been in my life. That's why you need prayer.
It was
Second,
so weird.
It was so awkward.
That's the one time it really backfired, and I thought, well, that was definitely weird.
I felt weird about it. I think that was the Holy Spirit.
Like,
what's Daddy doing? It was too much. That was a crazy time.
You had to be there. It was funny.
And verse 22, he says, and we will receive from him whatever we ask. That's a beautiful verse. And sometimes people will put a period there and say, you ask anything, and God will give it to you. Look at the rest of the verse. Because we obey him and do the things that please him. There is a good chance that some of us have not received at different times in our lives the things that we were asking of God because we weren't obeying him and doing the things that pleased him. Scripture says, if we're not doing the things that obey him and the things that please him, we might not be receiving what we're asking. So that's another thing. He says, man, let us receive. Why is that? Because it's like a formula here. If you're asking something while you're also obeying and doing what he's saying and trying to do things that please him, you're more in tune. You know what I mean? You're more in tune with what he's doing and that abiding and in that relationship. And then that's what the last two things and whatever you got there. In verse 24, he concludes by talking about fellowship because he lives in us and the Holy Spirit he gave us lives in us. He concludes the whole chapter again with that whole idea of abiding and fellowship and relationship. Ties it all in there together. All in there together.
That's good. Sorry,
I was reading Cousin Sue's. True. I'm not squinting though. Not squinting. Did that.
I was just thinking while you were talking. I had to look back to remind myself what I was thinking. But if you are abiding in Christ, the things that you ask Him will be more, just kind of automatically more in line with you. You know, you spend more of your day in that thought process of the things that will last eternally than you do on the things that last just today or this year. And so you start to see the things you actually desire and ask for change. And I think that's why you're going to see a lot more answered prayer.
Yep.
You're just on the same page with Him.
On the same page.
It's very similar
It's good
to
stuff
being
when you're on the
a
same
couple
page. When you're on the same page
either
with the
is
Lord.
working really well as a team or who is not working as a team.
Because in that and all those other things, like we said, like he's talking about when the world hates you and stuff. When you're on the same page with the Lord and abiding with Him in that, and you get in that intimate relationship where it's a constant, like a continual conversation, it's been amazing for me to train myself to trust Him more and to train myself to almost deflect to Him because He wants to receive it. Like He wants to go to bat. He wants to be the one to do that. So to almost, and I actually did it today. I was with Jonathan. We were trying to, and all the pastors, we were trying to figure out like all kinds of fun stuff church-wise. And at one point I was like, man, it reminds me of something I saw on Facebook. I actually said that, and it was something I saw, and I'm not going to say here either, because I wanted to elaborate and tell them all the reasons why I didn't agree with whatever it was. But I was like, I'm not going to say those things. I'm just, nope. That has nothing to do with what I just said, but it was a good memory.
You did that thing that sometimes you're like, oh, I saw this thing, but you know, I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not going to tell you.
Then why did you bring it up? Don't say anything.
You got to, that's right. You got to leave it out there.
Does it
That was a
lot.
mosquito. All right. I know it's probably like 12 o'clock or something. It's midnight. Hope you all had a good Wednesday. We'll see everybody tomorrow night. We'll be doing chapter 4 of First John, chapter 4. If you have any questions, or like we said, you need somebody to email you information about our church, comment on it here, and we'll get that to you.
Or you can email admin.
No. Email admin at
LakePoint.
We're getting so official at Lake Point, you know.
At Lake Point. It's
The
just way
secretaries
more
and all. It's way
reliable.
it is. It's
way
just
more reliable
it's just
than
better
us.
that way.
We'll try.
We will try. All right.
We're
Y'all have
almost efficient.
Good evening, and we will see everybody tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
All the back. Take care.
Good night.